What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This week, I've compiled some of the creepiest and scariest TikToks that have came across my FYP. Welcome to Spooked by Ava. Let's jump in. If I could learn to just be as chill as the lady in the white shirt, my life would probably be 20 times better. Let's just get one thing straight. I will never be doing a 5 nights at Chucky's.
And I had to have surgery, and it was the first time we were apart since I was really little. I mean, now is the first time we've been apart since high school, and I just
Emily!
If that was me, you would see me expire in 4K.
Finally, she was brought to the side. But when 𝐬𝐮𝐬 finally surfaced, Annette's leg was still locked in her jaws.
Give me a fish!
It took several more agonizing minutes before a handler managed to press a pole onto 𝐬𝐮𝐬's tongue, just enough to force her mouth open. Annette was pulled from the water and rushed away on a stretcher. She had survived, but the damage was severe. 25 stitches were needed to close the wounds in her leg. She later sued SeaWorld, but the monetary award was overturned on appeal. The entire event would go on to be featured in the television special When Good Pets Go Bad, and remains one of the most chilling reminders of a hard truth. No matter how well trained, no matter how many tricks they perform, wild animals are never truly tame. And when something goes wrong, it happens fast, and without mercy. If you thought that was disturbing, brace yourself for the next heartbreaking story.
𝐬𝐮𝐬 was chomping down on her leg like a drumstick.
The Smurl family home was once considered to be the most haunted house in America. A lot of people are talking about this because it's most recently been dramatized in the new Conjuring movie. But the real story behind this house dates back to the 1970s. This was when Jack and Janet Smurl had moved into a new home because they were hit by a hurricane, so they really needed something cheap. So their family ended up finding this duplex in Pittston, Pennsylvania, and they all moved in, but it wasn't long until they started to experience something off. The house gained widespread notoriety because of unexplained things going missing, objects moving, and sightings of a shadow figure. This is one of the eeriest things that was documented during the investigation of the home. And it wasn't even just the Smurl family that saw this, the neighbors saw it too. Something really interesting about the case I was reading up on was that the father actually claimed he was sexually assaulted by whatever was in that house. And in one of the rarer turns in this case, even the Vatican got involved in a sanctioned exorcism. That is exceedingly rare. It almost never happens.
I definitely remember the Smurl family haunting because the dad was SA'd by a ghost.
We went to the Cueva del Diablo, the Devil's Cave, and she went with the Brujo, and they seen a bunch of black magic being done. But you could see like a makeshift tombstone. It's made of wood, like a little one, with a bunch of pictures inside of people. And then there's also another one, which is a cut out full body picture of a lady, and there's a bunch of pins in different parts of her body. He explained what that means, so every single point is where they want pain to be caused on that person.
What the que tenga muchos clavos?
Bueno, los clavos son dolores en el cuerpo de la persona. Sí. Por ejemplo, aquí tenemos clavos en los ojos para que no mire, en la frente para que no piense, en la boca para que no hable, en el corazón, en el estómago, en las partes íntimas, y aquí está.
O sea, la persona que hizo esto de verdad odia a esta persona, ¿no?
Tiene que detestarla al 100%, no tanto por el trabajo, sino por el esfuerzo que tuvo que hacer para venir hasta acá.
Tuvieron que caminar 2 horas para hacer el sacrificio y que toda esa energía que le invirtieron ese tiempo se canalice en el mal que le están deseando a esa persona. ¿Es como una carta? ¿Le están deseando la muerte de esta persona?
Sí.
Full name, date of birth,
Si deseas.
¿Lo puedo tocar?
and they're not trying to like show the actual person's name.
Cuando dejan monedas, ¿qué significa?
La gente ya sabe que las monedas cuando las encuentran no se las pueden llevar porque estas monedas ya están preparadas. Que al llevarte la moneda te puedes llevar una energía.
Ah, mira, acá hay más monedas.
It's like
Sí,
traps.
aquí hay más.
And then he goes on to say she has no sort of protection, so what he does is he cleanses her, and then at the same time he gets rid of everything by trying to burn it. But then some weird happens while he tries to burn it.
En este momento el unicornio negro va a quemar estos ataúdes que, como recuerdan, es un trabajo que se hizo para desearle la muerte a estas personas. Simplemente vamos a ayudar a estas personas inocentes que no merecen esto.
The wood is still it's fine.
Está muy impresionante esto, amigos, porque obviamente tiene alcohol, tiene bastantes cosas flamables para potenciar que esto se queme y está siendo muy difícil quemarlo. O sea, quiere decir que este es un trabajo muy bien hecho.
What the?
O sea, que de
Pictures are still intact, bro. And another thing that he explains in the video, which is honestly like the crazy to me, most of the times, whenever it has something to do with some sort of black magic or brujeria, it's always like somebody closest to you or
Have you ever heard talking or laughing or weird sounds while you're in the shower? Now, believe it or not, a lot of people have had paranormal experiences while in the shower. And I think it's because you have to understand that is when we are the most vulnerable, right? We're unclothed, we are not really focused on anything, and we sort of can't see anything around us. And I think when you have an encounter in the bathroom, it's usually something negative. Now, this is a story that comes out of Chicago. There was this young girl who lived with her roommate, and she said one day she's at the house, she's taking a shower, and said all of a sudden as she's washing her hair, she sees a hand come around the curtain, and it's like moving. And she thinks this is her roommate who's just like messing around with her, so she starts slapping the hand and is like, "Stop it, get out of here, I'm trying to shower." And when she gets out of the shower and goes to see like what her roommate wanted or what she was doing, she realizes her roommate isn't even home. So she, is like, okay, that was really weird. Like maybe I don't know, was imagining it. About 2 weeks later, she once again is in the shower. And as she's taking a shower, she can see the shape of a man standing behind the shower curtain. And, she's terrified. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do in this situation? So she grabs the shower curtains and pulls them over, and there's no one there. Several other times, she would be in the shower and she would hear someone talking, or she would get the feeling that someone was touching her back, and she would look around and there was no one there. So this kept happening, and she, wondered why is this happening to me? And why doesn't my roommate ever experience this? Until one day she's going out of her house and she talks to the neighbor. And the neighbor says, there used to be a young guy who lived here, and he dated a girl that looked just like you. And it's crazy. The young guy, he was in the shower, he slipped and fell, hit his head, and passed away.
This drawing from Epstein's birthday book is incredibly disturbing. So this drawing was submitted to Epstein's birthday book. It was just released today. We don't know who drew this or who sent this in, but you can clearly see that the author here is showing Epstein in 1983 handing candy to little girls. And then fast forward 20 years, Epstein is getting massaged by a group of women, most of which are not wearing tops, and one of them even has J.E. tattooed on their butt cheeks. We've also now seen the actual letter that was allegedly sent in by Donald Trump for Epstein's birthday, which bears Trump's signature here. I mean, this clearly is what he signs on every letter. There were tons of new photographs of Epstein and victims and friends released, along with photos and images of intimate moments with him and Ghislaine, and tons of letters from his friends, his family, his assistants, including this letter from a former assistant of Epstein's where they claim they met Trump, Naomi Campbell, Kevin Spacey, Michael Jackson, Clinton, Prince Andrew, and more. There's also this magazine cover submitted to the birthday book by lawyer Alan Dershowitz, which was edited by him to say some weird stuff like, "Consume me, Jeffrey, intoxicate me, Jeffrey, Jeffrey Epstein's bloody summer. Who was Jack the Ripper? Was it Jeffrey Epstein?" There's so much to get into here and it's so disturbing. I just recorded a 2-hour breakdown of this book for my YouTube channel, The Conspiracy Files. I'm going to be releasing the video tonight, and I go through every page that's been released. So if you want to hear the full story of the birthday book, some of this stuff is so graphic and so disturbing I can't even talk about it here. So if you want to hear this full breakdown, please head to my YouTube channel and watch the full thing. It's really disturbing, and it paints a really disturbing picture not only of Epstein but also of all of his associates who clearly knew. They knew either that he was engaged in trafficking or that he was a hypersexual freak of a man. And you'll see why I'm saying that in the video that I'm releasing tonight. It's crazy stuff.
Let's talk about one of the most horrifying videos out on TikTok right now, the hot tub video. I hate videos like this, but you guys kept sending me this video, so let's talk about it. On September 3rd, 2025 in Daytona Beach, Florida, user Crime Scene Cleaning would upload one of the most disturbing and puzzling videos to date, the hot tub video. And the video currently sits at 14.4 million views, for it not only being exactly what you think, but the extremely out-of-pocket sound added on top of the video. Let me just show you. Yeah, I didn't put that sound. Like, this person said, "Why am I looking at a crime scene with jolly music in the background? If I pass away and someone puts this sound on my crime scene, I'm coming back." But obviously the most unsettling part about this video is, like this person said, the caption, which reads, "Hot tubs are crock pots for humans. This person was found deceased after 3 days in this hot tub. We had to extract all the water, skin, and hair. Our Daytona Beach location did a great job." Yeah, they didn't show like how they cleaned it up after. They just put what I showed you. I don't know. I don't know how this person passed away, but I did a little bit of digging, and apparently hot tubs are extremely dangerous. Like, according to the National Library of Medicine.gov, hot tubs and jacuzzis have caused a rise in unattended adult, with over 80,000 people suffering severe injuries from 1990 to 2007. Those that passing away due to drowning in combination with narcotic intoxication, cardiovascular issues, and drowning due to a sudden related attack of unconsciousness. Listen guys, I don't mean to scare you with these facts, but this video jolted me into a rabbit hole of how this could have happened, and the fact that this is how your body would decompose in a hot tub being absolutely horrifying to me. Also, change that sound. Or put no sound at all, please. Just so glad that this is private and we don't know who it is, because I also would feel kind of disrespected if this was me, you know? Crime scene cleanup channels are very common. I mean, I've seen tons of them on YouTube. I just didn't know that they made their way to TikTok. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the story of the hot tub video. What do we think? Are we paranoid now?
This was educational for me because I had no idea that hot tubs were crock pots for humans.
This is why you trust your pet's instincts. A man named Alejandro Gonzalez was taking his 2 dogs, Thanos and Zeus, for a walk around midnight since he was too busy during the day. He decides to go to a nearby lake they often visit, named El Muerto, when his dogs suddenly become agitated, barking at someone in the dark.
¡Quieto! ¡Quieto! ¡Thanos! ¡Sit! ¿Qué tienes? ¡Sit! ¡Quieto! No hay nada, cálmate. Zeus, aquí, aquí. ¿Qué tienen? ¿Qué tiene este? Oh, shit. ¿Hay algo ahí? ¿Hay una persona ahí o qué es eso? Espérate, espérate. ¿Es una persona? ¡Thanos!
Alejandro sees this white figure from the dark approaching them. Trying to calm his dogs down, he's unable to focus on who or what this is as it slowly comes near him.
¡Aquí! ¡Thanos! ¡Aquí, Zeus! ¡Thanos! ¡Zeus! ¡Aquí! ¡Zeus, aquí! ¡Here! ¡Here! ¡Thanos! ¡Vete! ¡Aquí! ¡Thanos! ¡Quieto! quieto. Sit, sit, sit. Thanos. Sit, quieto. Quieto. Thanos. Sit, quieto. Quieto. Oh, shit. Quietos. Quédense ahí. Quieto ahí. Cálmense. Shh. Quietos.
This strange woman then walks away into the darkness.
¿Qué es eso?
The man and his dogs are left startled by the event, as Alejandro explains from all the times visiting this lake, he's never quite seen anything like it. From a disturbed individual walking around the lake to the urban tale of La Llorona, just what exactly did they see that made his dogs so unsettled? Let me know what you think.
I think if it was me, there would have been no video because me and my dogs would have been 20 miles away from there by then. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think you should have Papa Legba as any kind of imagery during any kind of concert.
This video comes from Elijah Carter, who's a construction worker for a house that's being remodeled. It's been some time now that he's worked on this house, and he's just now realizing something about it that the property owner has never mentioned. In this house lies a hidden crawl space. Apparently, it was hidden behind a stack of drywall that no one had bothered moving until now. Seeing that no one else is around, as it wasn't a work day, he explores the crawl space all by himself. But little does he know that this was a bad idea. The following is Elijah's video. Watch.
But while I came across something that was really cool, and I feel like it sets this house apart. The reason why I'm just now founding this crawl space is because of this drywall. The owner, she had this drywall covering the crawl space. That's not the cool thing about it. And I want y'all to check this out. So while I was here, I found this table, and I also found this extra space right here. You have a vent right there. I think I just heard some footsteps. This can't be a squatter.
What was meant to be a short video for his Facebook group turns into something completely nightmarish. For one, the sound of footsteps was heard on the floorboards despite no one being there, and eeriest of all, the sound of someone talking and giggling was heard from somewhere inside. But to make things even more frightening, the door to the crawl space begins to open on its own. It's no wonder why Elijah bolted out of there at full speed. As it seems, he wasn't alone. Now, if what he says is true, that there weren't any signs of someone being there the next day at work, then the question is begged. Just what exactly did Elijah encounter while being inside this house?
I think Elijah realized right in that moment when he said this can't be a squatter, that it was in fact some paranormal-ish going on.
I used to do house calls in the hills of the Appalachian Mountains, primarily for people that lived like off the grid. They didn't have telephones, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no GPS, you use a map, you use the compass. And the company that I worked for doesn't exist anymore. I don't work for that company anymore. But all of the stories I have are very interesting. based on true stories. Of course, I have to change some things because of anonymity, but when people say that there are strange things in the Appalachian Mountains, I didn't believe it until I actually worked in the Appalachian Mountains. Here's one of those events, for example. I was en route to a patient's home, and as I said, I have a lot of patients that are off the grid, or they live in very rural communities. So I'm driving down a road, and I make a hard turn onto like a side street, I suppose you would say. And there's a single car length bridge. This is important. And I go about 5 minutes past that bridge, and it takes me to another small road where there's a house. Okay, so obviously it didn't take me very long off of the main gravel road to get to this person's house. And like I said, I don't have a GPS, so I really have to pay attention to where I'm going, and how long I've been on this road, and like landmarks, so that I can find my way back. It's the middle of the afternoon, and when I arrive on the property, there's a barn straight ahead at the end of like this drive, and then the house is far set to like the left, and there's like a field in front of the house, right? But it looked like I was supposed to park in front of the barn. That's where the gravel thing ended, so I figured I'd park here and I'll walk to the house. I don't see any other houses around or anything, but I hear that there's people around because I hear like kids playing. And so I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice. You know, it's a beautiful day outside. I heard someone call out to me. They said, hello. And I, you know, am still getting stuff out of my car. And I say, hello, I'll be there. Just, you know, give me 1 second. I'm getting my things out of the car. And then I turn, and there's like a car that looks like it's been parked there for a while, and I know this because there's like weeds and brush growing up around it. And there's a gentleman that's walking out from behind the car. Looks like he was tinkering on it or something. He was wearing like denim overalls, no shirt underneath. Nothing particularly interesting about this guy. And so I turned around and started heading to the house, and I don't see anyone, so I thought they must have said hello and then gone back inside. I don't know, maybe they're getting their medications ready, getting their paperwork ready for us to review it when I get in. And I knocked on the door, and the person comes and collects me, and she said, oh, I didn't see that you had arrived, you're a bit early. And I said, oh, am I? Sorry, thought I heard you call out to me. And she said no, and I was like, okay, fluke, whatever. So we're doing the visit, and we're almost done with the visit. It's still early afternoon, and I get to asking this person I always ask, who do you live with? And she had said, oh, you know, I live alone, and I own like 100 and some acres. And I was like, oh, so like nobody else lives on the property with you? And she says no. And I said, well, I like thought I heard kids playing outside, and I saw a man like doing something with that car out there. Like, does he work for you? And she looked at me and she said, it's out there. And I was like, the car? Yeah, it's out there. It's at this moment I realized that I don't think we're talking about the car. And she goes, you have to go. I'm like, I have to go. I'm like, you know, pardon me, but I'm not quite done yet. And she said, it's going to rain, and if it rains and that pass that you came through, that dirt road gets wet, you won't be able to leave. And I'm like, it's not going to rain, like it's a clear sky outside. She says, I'll fix you a sandwich. Things are happening quickly, like it's kind of bizarre. We go from having a nice visit and talking to, you need to leave now. And I'm still confused as hell, because she's telling me that she lives on a property where no one else is, and I just literally heard people outside and saw a guy on her property. So like, I'm not understanding what's going on. She's consistently saying like, you have to leave, it's going to rain, you're going to get stuck, you won't be able to leave. Okay, so she hands me a bag. She says there's a sandwich in it. It's like a mesh bag that you keep like potatoes or onions in. She just threw like a baggie in there. She said it was a sandwich. So I'm talking to her while she's making the sandwich, and she's telling me that I need to go get back on the road. And I turn, and it's dark outside. And I don't mean storm cloud dark outside. I mean it's dark outside. It's the middle of the afternoon. And she hastily, I'd say hastily, walks me to the door from which I have come, opens the door, says goodbye, practically pushes me out and closes the door. Now I'm standing in the middle of the afternoon, that was a sunny afternoon, on this person's porch in the pitch black with a sandwich. I still don't quite understand the sandwich. What do you want me to do? You want me to bargain with Paranormal Patrick out here for my life, exchange a sandwich for the skin that he wants to take off and wear like a glove. Not gonna lie, I'm tweaking out a little bit. I'm like, what is going on? Everything was fine. So, like I said, I have been in interesting situations before. I have no Wi-Fi. I cannot call anybody. My car is parked, remember, across the field next to the barn, past several cars that are parked on this property that I just saw someone walking by, and I see nobody now. So I do what anybody would do. I pretend that I'm walking on a target. I am unbothered. I keep a steady pace. I do not stop. I keep my head straight ahead to my car. And I can tell you clear as day, there is somebody walking. There's somebody walking parallel to me. And you could, like, I could feel it. Like, I could feel somebody looking at me. Give me goosebumps. I don't know if you can see the goosebumps, but like I can still, oh yeah, you can. I can still remember like somebody's in this field with me. And how the hell is it this dark outside? I'm not gonna lie, I dropped the sandwich. I'm like, I don't care. I'm done. It gets quiet. From the point that I'm walking from the field to my car, it is quiet. No crickets, no frogs, no nothing. But you know what I can hear? The sound of jeans. The sound that denim makes when someone's walking. At this point, I'm like, don't run. Don't run. Don't run. Just keep walking like you're walking out of Target, get to your car and leave. I get to my car, I get back on the road, I start driving. And I'm waiting to see this bridge that I came in on. Because remember, I told you I make note of landmarks, I know how long I've driven on this road because I need to get back to the main road, which means I need to remember how I've come. I'm driving on this road in the dark for like 20 minutes. And there is no main road in sight, and this is the only road that enters this property. Like, I couldn't have made a wrong turn. I'm driving down the road. Eventually, I get to like this, I wouldn't say brick, it's like this stone underpass, bridge thing. I drive under it. It's maybe a little tunnel. I drive under it. It's pitch black on the inside. I get to the other side. It's daytime. And I'm sitting in my car like shaking, trying to make sense of this. Like how is this possible? Like weather? No, weather does not explain it. She's like, it's going to rain. There was no rain, okay? That wasn't clouds. That was night, okay? That was night. That was pitch black, middle of the day. I've encountered some strange things on this job, but I can tell you that really felt like being hunted. That was an interesting feeling. And to this day, I still don't understand the sandwich. I don't understand why she was so insistent on making me leave with this sandwich. But it didn't come with me. I dropped it on the way to the car. I was like, absolutely not. This is just too weird. This whole thing is so weird. Now, like I said, I worked this area for quite some time. I kind of knew my way around. I kind of knew what roads were shooting off the main gravel road. I could find my way to different side streets, if you will. And this was the first time I had seen this patient. It was the first time I had been off this road with the bridge. And I actually went back that way to drive past it to see another patient again. And I could not, for the life of me, find this road. Like, it's like it wasn't there. There was like rock formation, like a part of the mountain that you would drive, you would turn around, and then it would give way to this little road that I got on, and I passed over this bridge and made it to this woman's property, and I never saw that road again. I know you probably think I'm absolutely crazy, but I never saw that road again. The Appalachian Mountains are not for the weak, y'all. I mean, I can't explain it. I know it's kind of an odd story, it's kind of anticlimactic, nothing happened, but like, I can't explain it. If you live in the Appalachian Mountains, have you ever heard of something like this happening before? Like, I know it sounds silly, but what do you mean the road's not there?
Yeah, I'm definitely wondering what was up with the sandwich. I mean, did Paranormal Patrick really like a good turkey sandwich?
Very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars.
So last July, NASA's Perseverance rover found a leopard-spotted rock at Mars. And scientists immediately knew. It was interesting, we hadn't seen anything like that before.
What we saw in this rock were these layers of very fine-grained, rusty red mudstone that had in them these incredible features, these things that we took to calling poppy seeds, which are the sort of dark black spots in the rock, and leopard spots, which are these kind of ring-shaped features that have dark rims around them.
They've done the analysis on these leopard spots, and we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life. This finding by our incredible Perseverance rover is the closest we've actually come to discovering ancient life on Mars.
The discovery of a potential biosignature or a feature or signature that could be consistent with biological processes, but that requires further work and study to confirm a biological origin.
Didn't I just mention that they would do anything to keep us off the Epstein files?
Okay, I've got all the parts together. It's looking pretty good, pretty menacing. I think this is gonna work.
All right, guys, let me show you this. Let's give it a first try. Let's do it. Before we start, everybody click the link below. Ooh, what the? So, guys, I need your help. Show us support by just clicking the link below and go live.
So I built this robot in my garage, and it's pretty cool, right? I'm hoping to get it to walk soon.
You have no idea how many people on the internet believe that Citra is real. If this was a video legit from 14 years ago, it's kind of hard to fake, but it could also be somebody behind the chair with a string.
When we walk them dead, they gotta be on the alert to do them dirty, no free. What is you doing? God damn! You fucking playing too much! Come on,
No, because that crash out is legit. I probably would have been scared out of my mind. And with that, we are out, you guys. Don't forget to give me a like and a sub on your way out. And as always, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future episodes. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Now
it's taking all night. Now it's taking all night. It boils my blood. It boils my blood. You feel the same? I can see it when you're smiling. You feel the same? I can see it when you're smiling.
All the time. Can't hold on.